So Anne, a beautiful day to be outside here on the roof terrace at Fujitsu.
Yes, and a very interesting topic to discuss. 2 years on, the financial services landscape.
Absolutely.
So it was really interesting from the research to see how much money these organisations are actually spending on innovation and how much of a priority it is. But what was also really interesting for me is how poorly they're doing in terms of deploying that innovation and actually being able to realise the benefits of all this good work that they're doing.
It's very hard for financial institutions to advance equally quickly on all fronts. And clearly one of the things the research showed was that progress in mobility and the digital agenda has been a key area of change within the banks over the last couple of years.
Consumers want to access banking services from their smartphone and from their tablet. And I think the other area that banks need to consider is that when they're taking new products to market, or indeed marketing their brand, they need to be looking to do that through social media.
And of course that's going to have a knock-on impact on the existing established distribution channels such as branch networks, which of course is why we're seeing banks already revisiting how they're using the branch format and how they're deploying personnel and technology within that format.
And the other interesting thing about what's on the financial services agenda is that their spend is very much moving from being on internal IT to be moving on their sort of customer-facing business IT. And I think that has some messages for IT departments about where they play in terms of technology for these organisations in the future.
I think you're quite right. I think for me, IT departments are going to face changes at both the front end and the back end. At the front end, they're going to have to work much more closely with areas like marketing, like sales, in order to develop business-focused solutions. And at the back end, they're going to have to be working with third-party suppliers to make sure they get the best solution. They purchase and acquire the components that deliver the best solution from whichever supplier or provider is most appropriate for that to fix that particular problem.
And I think IT decision making is going to become more dispersed in an organisation, because where it's about business applications or the best way to deliver products to customers, I think those decisions are best taken within the business units. I think what IT departments need to look at is where their value add is in the future. And for me, it's around ensuring the continuing cost efficiency within IT. Because if budgets are dispersed around an organisation, chances are they may be spent less efficiently. I think it was interesting how our research came back again and again to this theme of security and how security was impacting decision making across all of the respondents.
Absolutely, but really what came through very clearly from the research was just how banks are now focusing on it in a different way. Partly I think because the nature of the threat has slightly changed. At one time the threat was financial loss, but now we have this malicious attack on banks, the threat of a malicious attack that can potentially undermine the very credibility of the organisation amongst the customer base.
It's also blocking their ability to embrace some of these new technologies such as cloud and digital, which we've already spoken about.
So that was another surprise for me, was the fact that cloud hasn't been an agenda, hasn't been an issue that's moved as quickly as perhaps I expected it to. I thought that we'd have more financial institutions exploring, investigating, and then having proved the technology, moving into in a more wholesale way.
Well, there's no doubt from the research that they understand the benefits that cloud can bring them.
Absolutely.
And more organisations are looking to embrace cloud, but very few have actually taken that step, and security again seems to be the key reason why.